Yes. Support system.
Mm-hmm. Oh, why is that not working? Okay, well, whatever. I can't seem to.
Everyone's looking so cute.
Yeah.
Oh,
I can't seem to control the volume, but anyway, if anybody is on the live stream now and can listen in and see if the sound is working, that would be great.
Everyone's looking so cute.
Yeah.
Okay. Yep.
Sounds like it's working.
Yay.
You can hear us. Okay, great. Well then,
on the live stream now and can listen in and
nothing to do then. All right, cool.
Nope. Yep. Sounds like everything's right.
Yeah.
Fabulous.
Okay, I'm gonna take a quick look at the campaign page. Oh, my fingers starting to bother me, so I really should stop. Okay. Huh?
you gotta take it easy.
I do. I really do. Oh, Natalia is trying to get in. There we go.
Oh, yeah.
And Pen. And is that it for now? That's it. Hey, guys.
Hi.
Yay!
For those who are listening to the live stream right now and cannot see us yet, we're going to get started in just about 3 minutes, but we're just making sure all our mics work and everything.
Can you see me? Oh, I think I see me.
We can see you. Yep. We can hear you. Everybody looks so cute. Oh, man, I love these setups. Ah, Sarah's setup is so cute, too. Oh, my gosh. Okay. And anybody who doesn't have headphones of some kind might want them, unless you're sure that there aren't creatures or people or phones going off in your apartment that might get picked up. So I did forget to mute my cell phone again, but let me just, since we've still got 2 minutes. People are just listening to us chat, so
Yeah.
hey. All right, I'll be right back.
Sorry, I'm punching my microphone.
You know, sometimes you have to do that so that it will work.
Yeah, it was in a bad position and it needed to be punched, apparently.
My phone might as well be on mute because apparently my mom called me a couple times this morning and texted me to ask if I wanted anything from the farmer's market, and that is disappointing to miss out on.
Aw.
Oh well. Hopefully she picked me up something anyway.
Yeah.
All right.
I feel like I've been really testing myself not eating these snacks sitting here.
I know, right?
Same. Like, I'm just looking at my stuff and going, like, I mean, I ate a little piece of my baguette, but I'm like, oh, I don't want to be rude. I'm the only person here.
Just shove it in.
Yeah, I ate one of my little meringues, but we signed on around 1, so I felt like I earned a little bit of
Absolutely.
special time. But all right, I'm going to go ahead and switch so that people can see us, because I know you guys can all see each other, but they cannot right now. So let me see. All right. I've got my witch hat on, so I'm feeling a little extra, but like when, if not during a launch party, can you be extra? So
yeah, absolutely.
Mm-hmm. That's sort of the whole point of this.
I feel like it. Yeah. Oh man. Okay, cool. So we're all here. We're all getting started. I don't know if there was anybody else who's going to join, but we're going to find out along the way. So to get us started off, I'm going to... Oh, here comes Petrina, actually. Yay!
Yay, more people.
Right. Yes. Hey, Petrina. We're live. So if anybody's struggling with their mics at this point, I'm sorry I cannot help you, but you're welcome to try to get it all figured out in the chat and stuff. So
oh my goodness. Everyone's got cute mugs and everything.
Everyone looks
Yeah.
so cute. It's looking so good. I just realized, let me see. Oh no, she's here. Okay. So as I am like managing the the live stream in the background, if we can go around and say our names and what kind of artwork, or I guess what kind of creative thing you do, because some of you guys are writers and some of you guys are crafters, and there's all kinds of stuff going on. Whoops, I'm really struggling to move this file behind here. Okay, so yeah, I'm probably going to, since everybody's screen order is a little bit different, I'll just call people out and you can get started. So V, do you want to start by introducing yourself?
Sure. I'm V. I draw comics and illustrations and have the sunlight behind me. So I am, mostly comics and illustration for fun. I'm going to start trying to build up a stronger portfolio to pivot away from my day job. But this is my second Hazel, and it's a lot of fun. I do both traditional and digital. Yeah.
Cool. Cody, how about you?
Yeah, so my name is Cody, and I'm primarily a visual artist, at least with the stuff that I share. And I mainly stick with digital art, primarily just like illustrations and sketches and stuff. And then I do also do some crafting. So I really like carving stamps. So I have some stamp carving and relief carving that I occasionally will post. But yeah, so that's mainly what I stick to.
Cool. Sounds good. Thais, how about you?
Yeah. So I'm Thais, and I do a little bit of everything. I write poetry. I do traditional visual art. And today I've got a coloring book, and I'm working on cats because I love my cats.
That's a really fun project to be working on for this little relaxing drink and draw kind of project. Caroline, how about you?
So I'm Caroline, the part-time princess, and I do mainly illustrations and watercolors and stuff like that. Yeah.
Cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sarah, how about you?
Hey, I'm Sarah. My tag is almost year. I wouldn't say I'm a professional artist. I'm a hobbyist. I really like organizing things, so I've been helping to organize things behind the scenes. I do a lot of illustrations in my free time and some crafting, and today I'll be working on some embroidery.
All right, cool. I'm sorry, I got distracted because we've got one more person coming in. Here comes Allison. Hey, we're live. We're going around and introducing ourselves. So well, let me see. Next in the order coming up is Natalia.
Hi. So I'm Natalia. I'm an illustrator and comics artist. My first issue of Hazel is issue 4. So I'm excited to be back doing illustrations for this one.
Yeah.
And I have a matcha latte that I tried to do like that nice sprinkle of powder on top, and it just dissolved into like a moss-looking mess, but it's very tasty.
Well, I want to go around and see what everybody's snacking on in just a second for sure. But Pen, if you could introduce yourself.
All right, my name is Pen. Hi. I mostly do, I'm trying to get into traditional art which has been a struggle. But before now, I've been mostly doing traditional like sketching and watercolors, and hoping to do storyboard art one day. But for now, just sort of comics, my own illustration, and customer service work. And I used to live in New York for a little bit for school, and that's how I met Lucy and learned about Hazel. But now I live in Portland, Oregon.
Yeah, nice. All right, and Kirsten?
Hi everyone. My name's Kirsten, and this is my first issue of Hazel, and it's actually my first foray back into creative writing as an adult. So it's been really special to be able to be part of this with you guys. And my piece is about baking, and so I'm wearing my apron.
Oh,
Nice.
I love your outfit today. It's really cute.
Thank you.
All right, what about Melissa?
Hello, I'm Melissa. I'm a writer. I submitted a poem to Hazel. This is my first time doing anything for Hazel, so that's very exciting. As a writer, I can't draw. I can draw okay, but not very well. So I'm working on some embroidery, which I'm also not super good at. But this is a
adorable.
It's a little kit I got from a local company called Fireside Textiles that does these like really, really cute patterns and stuff on fabric, and they were selling these little kits at Geek Girl Con, which is also where I picked up Hazel.
Nice. I really want to go to Geek Girl Con next time they actually have it.
Same.
Hanging
When
in there
it's
for
safe.
real cons. Yeah. Katrina?
I was going to say Melissa. I was just going to say Melissa, your poem is really beautiful. I ended up doing the art for it, and it was very touching. So, good job.
I look forward to people seeing it. Katrina, how about you? Oh, I don't know if we can hear you. Is Katrina muted? Katrina, you're
Katrina's
muted.
How about that?
Yes, great.
Okay, yes.
There we go.
Yay! I think this is my first time actually doing a hangout, so or like a legit hangout. Anyways, so I'm a writer. I guess I'm considered a writer, but like for Hazel specifically, I do a lot of like crochet and like knit, and this is like my third volume doing like creating a crochet pattern and stuff.
Yeah.
So really fun, actually.
I sent your pattern to our friend Tiffany to see if she could give it a try, and she's really looking forward to it. She said it made total sense to her. She really likes the way that it looks, so I can't wait to see what people do with it.
Oh, that's really great. I'm always worried about stuff like that.
Are those some of yours in the background?
Which one?
Like on the wall? Yeah.
Oh, those are actually like keychains from like the Beijing Olympics.
Yeah, I thought they were from the Olympics.
Yeah, nice.
Cute.
Cool. All right, Kusera. Just when you took a sip, sorry. Bad timing.
No, that's fine. It was more, I muted my mic because I'm on a hard plastic table. So like everything I do makes noise.
Oh, yeah.
I wrote kind of like a guided meditation for Hazel. So I like to write and I like to do just random crafts. I've got a bunch of beads to make some jewelry, but right now I'm actually working on putting a bunch of like fake flowers on a hat.
Oh, neat. That's really fun. All right. And I might, that being said about that hard plastic table, I might ask that people either mute their mics if they're like moving stuff around or eating or something, or am I cutting out a bunch?
No, not on my end.
I thought I heard something. Okay, so yeah, or to just be very careful with background noise, since there are so many of us. It starts to add up. So Allison, how about you?
Okay. Hey, I'm Allison. I've been a contributor to Hazel since issue 2, I think, as a writer, which is cool. I unfortunately was very bad at getting my draft in on time this year.
Oh, that's okay. You're not the only one.
I paint. I sometimes embroider, although I'm also very bad at it. And I'm trying to get into comics and actually feeling brave enough to post those online. So it's great seeing everyone. You all look so cool.
Yeah, it's so nice getting to like actually hang out after all this time. So I'm really enjoying it. Sorry, one more note about sound. I might ask. Oops, and Claire's joining too. I'll wait until she joins to say this then. Let me see. Hey Claire, I know your mic is automatically muted when you come in, but I hope you can hear us. Yeah, if people don't have headphones, that might be a good thing to have, so we don't have a lot of what do you call it? Like feedback? Basically. Yeah. So we're doing introductions. So I'm going to go to Lulu first, and then you'll be the last one, Claire. So Lulu, how about you?
Hi, I'm an illustrator who normally draws crying women, but for Hazel, that wasn't necessarily appropriate, so I drew happy women instead with like flowers and stuff.
It works out very nicely. They still have kind of a melancholy feeling to them, but it's like...
Yeah, but they're not like in abject misery. They're just vaguely like existential crisis. You know, that's a little different.
I feel like I fall under a similar category since I like drawing sad boys.
Yeah. All the crying people, it's the best.
Yeah.
So relatable.
So I do want to... Oh yeah, Claire, if you can go ahead and introduce yourself.
Oh, absolutely. I just went to go get some headphones. Can you see me? There we are. Hi.
Oh, there you are. Okay.
Hey, folks. My name's Claire. I'm in the Bay Area of California. I'm a writer. In my real passion, I do management consulting in my day job, and was really excited to be a part of this, and wrote a little bit about using tarot to inspire writing, and Lucy's made some incredible illustrations for it.
Thank you. Yeah, we've V put together this like cool little border graphic around us, and they used some of the tarot images in the corner down there. So I can't wait to have that all assembled and show people what it looks like. So I am curious about what everybody is eating and drinking. I realized I also didn't really introduce myself. A lot of people on the stream.
Yes,
probably,
who are you?
Yeah. I mean, in case you've never...
How do we all get here?
In case you're totally new to Hazel and you've never seen my Instagram or anything before, I'm Lucy. My little label is Cottonbook, and that's the little press under which I put out Hazel every year. I made the first Hazel issue like 4 or 5 years ago at this point, because this is the 5th one and I've made one every year, and that one was just me. But ever since then, like Patrina asked like, hey, can I contribute to the next one? And like a couple other people were like, hey, I have some ideas. And so then it's just all been really fun to see what everybody brings since then. So today I've got some, it's not literally champagne, I guess, because it's not from Champagne, it's cuvee, but I've got bubbly and some passion fruit juice, and I just put some frozen blueberries in there to make it pretty. So that's my thing. But then my not so pretty thing is my cookies didn't turn out exactly as planned. This is my chocolate chip cookies over here. They're very lumpy, but they're very delicious. At Cottonbook. Oops. Oh, what happened? Oh no, the call was dropped. So I'm so sorry. I'm gonna have to bring you guys back in. part. This is the joys of live streaming. You never know what's going to happen. All right, so.
Well, I think we lost the whole meat video on YouTube, so I don't know if they can hear us right now.
Yes,
Uh-oh.
I'm back now.
Oh yeah, we did.
So we're back.
Oh
Then,
no!
It just said connection was lost. I'm glad you guys are all still here, so I could join you. But basically,
I tried to save it.
Introducing my cookies again. I have my ugly chocolate chip cookies, which taste delicious. And then I tried to make rose macarons, but I forgot the almond flour, perhaps the most important ingredient. So they're just meringues now. Luckily, it's still a thing. They're rose meringues. They're just very strongly flavored. So I'm still
That probably
enjoying.
tastes amazing.
Yeah, it's almost pure sugar at this point, but yeah, very good. And I tried them like with both of these are like vegan recipes, and I didn't know how they were gonna turn out, but they're fantastic, except for my obvious user error. So, all right, Natalia, you had a matcha latte. Is there anything left to show of it? Oh. Oh, I can't hear you. Are you muted? Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, here we go.
Okay.
Sorry.
Okay.
I muted it. Yeah, so still drinking a little bit of my matcha here. Try not to spill it on my keyboard or else I would show you more. But yeah, this is my favorite mug. So I made sure it was clean for today.
Gorgeous.
I've got a white chocolate baguette, which I'm very excited about, and some brie and some cherries. And that's my little setup here.
Because you keep talking about them and I don't understand.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So it basically is just a baguette with white chocolate chips like baked into it. So it's basically like a sweetened baguette.
Can you show it to us?
Yeah. I mean,
Everyone's
it's
so
like
curious about
in
it.
slices, but
Did you buy it at a local bakery?
I got it off of Whole Foods actually.
Oh, weird.
Yeah. Usually, I've found really good ones at the farmers market here in Raleigh, but I didn't have time to go there because this week has been pretty crazy. So I'm glad I had time to just kind of stop in there and grab them. I actually was originally going to get hazelnut croissants because I figured those were thematic. But they didn't have them, so in a way I kind of lucked out with the baguettes. So anyway, that's enough about my baguettes.
Well, I think everyone was very curious because it's not your usual snack unless you go to Whole Foods, or I think La Farm is our local bakery that has stuff like that. Like, I don't think a lot of places make chocolate in baguettes, so.
Chocolate bread.
Yeah.
Very good.
What else are people eating? Patrina just took a bite, so I feel bad calling on you right now. Maybe I should come back to you. Okay.
Okay, hold on. I'm good.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm good. So I was eating a cherry, but I also have like shortbread cookies that I made from like a while ago.
That sounds good. I wanted to have like a picnic theme for this because, well, we can't really, a lot of us can't really get out to do in-person events like that, but it just like seemed really fun to see what everyone would make. It's like we have our own little potluck, so. Okay, Kirsten, you are the baker of the group. Did you bake anything, or what did you bring?
I was gonna say this is pretty high stakes. Like I have to come to the table. And actually, so what I've been eating is I'm finishing this dessert that my husband made for me the other night, which is almost done, and there's not much to show. But I'd love for you guys to help me choose which baked good I bring from my refrigerator to the party. So I bring, because I have 3 options. I bring some of the sourdough that I baked recently, and the piece is about sourdough. So with some jam, maybe I have some nice jams. I also have peanut butter cream pie, like cupcakes. So they're like cupcake sized peanut butter cream pie. And they're really good. with like an Oreo base. And then the last one I have is a blackberry ricotta cake, which
Oh my God.
is really fun. It's almost like cheesecake.
I think that's the
Sounds
winner.
really
That's
good.
my
All of those sound so good.
I know.
It's been a fun baking week. So and I have blueberry basil tea. So that's nicely
Yum.
with it, I think.
Okay, so we need a recipe channel in the Discord.
Yes.
Yes,
Absolutely.
Yes.
I'm gonna have to definitely like open up some larger Discord for some of our Hazel fans as well, because I think they would love that kind of thing.
Oh, yeah.
Avina just came in and is wearing the same style of witch hat as me, I believe.
Oh, nice.
Martin Maiden. Yeah, Avina, can you introduce yourself? And if you have some snacks, we'd love to hear about them.
Oh, okay. So my name is Avina. I did like writing and art contributions this time for Hazel, and I'm not drinking anything exciting because I ate a really huge breakfast and I kind of made myself sick. So
Oh no.
Seltzer water.
You got bubbly. That's all right.
Yeah. So, and I put it in a like cute glass so I can still feel like I'm partying.
Yay!
For sure.
Yes.
I'm just gonna stay hydrated this time around.
That sounds good. Yeah, for some reason, ever since I saw, like, I think there are other names for this glass, like a Tom Collins glass or Long Island iced tea glass, but ever since I saw one of these at a restaurant, I was just like, I love this so much. It's so little. It's so, like, long. I don't know. There are other dream glasses that I have to purchase, which I should have just purchased when I saw them at the store, and they're probably gone forever now, but this at least is something you can find almost anywhere. So let me see. So Kirsten went to get her delicious sounding dessert. Allison,
Right.
do you have any snacks?
Sorry, I keep muting myself because
Oh,
I
no,
don't
that's
have
fair.
a Bluetooth headphone, and I feel like the angle of my laptop on my lap is weird.
Oh, that's fine.
No, I don't. I got distracted because I was working on another writing project and I lost track of time. But I will say what I'm planning on eating is a heirloom tomato galette, which is a recipe that I actually got from Lucy last summer. It's super simple, and if you guys are into heirloom tomatoes, it's like the best thing you could eat this summer, I think, to enjoy them.
Absolutely agree. I'm harvesting some tomatoes right now, and I just bought a pie crust because I hate making pie crust. So I will have to make some of that myself. And I see that Kirsten came back with that amazing sounding tart. Can you show that to us?
Yeah, so this is a cake, and can you see it? Okay, hold on. I gotta get you a very angle.
Oh, yes.
Oh
So
my
this
God.
Blackberry basil cake.
So this is a blackberry ricotta cake, and then I have a blueberry basil tea.
Oh, that mug is adorable.
Yeah, this is a Renaissance fair
Nice.
mug, and I like to say these are like, if you read Harry Potter, like going into Ollivander's shop, and instead of finding your wand, it's you find your
mug.
Yay.
Oh, that's so cute. Oh my gosh. I just realized, like, I can't see the chat on the live stream right now from where I am, and I can only imagine that some people are going to be like, are they just going to talk about food this whole time? And like, I'm
The
sorry.
answer is yes.
Yes, food is very important to us. No, but we are.
Well, I saw a lot
working
of people were excited about the chocolate bread.
Okay.
So.
Yeah, we are working on some fun little crafts and drawing and stuff too. So we'll show you guys that soon. But I just have to hear about the snacks because we made this Pinterest board with like some different ideas on it, and some people made stuff from the board. I didn't look at the recipe for the passion fruit champagne one. I just mixed together passion fruit juice and something like champagne, but I'm interested to hear. V, you made something, right? From the board?
I made. So what I have to drink is this is a cocktail someone shared in our Discord. I forget who
I think
already.
it was Avina.
Oh, was it you, Vina? Yeah, it was the Earl Grey and gin.
Earl Grey and gin.
And the gin I got was from, it's like down the street from me. It's a local one made with lilacs because Rochester has a lilac festival every year.
I want it. Oh my god.
I got little lavender blossoms that I made into ice cubes in it, and there's a splash of lemon and simple syrup, so it's pretty good.
That sounds amazing.
If I
And
could-
I made the Earl Grey cookies that was on the board, and also a avocado cucumber little salad that I put on some bread.
Oh, that sounds so good. Yeah,
I don't know if you can see any of that.
A little bit from where I am, but my screen might be smaller than other people's. Ooh, yeah.
The food is a hit in the chat, by the way.
Oh, good.
Yeah,
that's good to know. Yeah, I when you guys mentioned, because I think that one of the recipes had the idea for like the floral ice cubes as well. That was like one of the other cocktail recipes. I was like, man, I should totally do that. And then of course was totally distracted, and it wasn't until an hour before, and I was like, it's not gonna freeze by then. So I'm like, I'll just do frozen blueberries since that was what was already in my freezer. But Sarah looks like she's got like a whole picnic setup over there with like gingham and this lovely hat and everything. What are you snacking on over there?
I have a few things. I have some fruit.
Ooh.
A little bit of fruit.
Just a little bit. Some lavender cookies. And then over here I have a charcuterie board with someone who's working.
Oh, no. So you have a picnic buddy. Oh my gosh.
Wow.
That's so nice.
Sweetie. So well behaved. My cats would be like rolling around in it, facing upon it.
That cat, like my cat, would be trying to eat those crackers right now. Honestly, every time I've been bringing bread into that house, he's been going after it.
I am very excited that there are so many cats that may or may not come in and out of frame during this whole chat. This is very fun.
Oh, yes. Hey, Thais, what do you think Nancy and Ian would be doing if you had a picnic set up at home?
Ian would be scared of every single noise that would be made and would probably go hide. And then Nancy would basically put her face in everything. She wouldn't eat it, but she'd sniff at everything. And then you just be like, I don't really want that. But she is here. She's just sort of in the background.
Show us.
I'm trying my best. Nancy cat. She's just sort of hiding.
Chilling in the corner.
Yep. She's awake, but she does love to put her face just right up against the wall for some reason.
She longs for the outdoors.
Yeah.
Yeah, she longs for the day.
Oh, that's really cute. Oh, did you bring any kind of beverage, or is your cat our feast for the eyes?
The cat is mostly it. Natalia did give me some of her delicious baguette, which I can definitely vouch for. So it's almost gone. And then for my drink, I hydrate with water.
Well, that's very important. So
Yeah.
That's good.
Of the out of frame water because it's not aesthetic.
Yeah, exactly. It's like
Cody,
cat.
Cody, how about you? Did you make something? I think you were talking about some cookies.
Yes, I made from the Pinterest board. There was a oh gosh, I just blanked on it.
Chamomile?
Yes, they're the lemon chamomile shortbread. So I actually used some of the my I have cookie cutters that my mom
Aw.
gave me. I think this one actually is a vintage cookie cutter, so I was like really excited
that's
to
so
give it a
cool.
try, and they're delicious. They didn't end up being vegan, which I think the recipe is vegan, but I didn't have any vegan butter, so it's just regular butter. But yes, they ended up being very, very delicious. And I have, let's see, I have 2 different kinds of teas and water. The tea I just made is called Tropical Fairy, and it's I guess it's a fruit tea, and it has like hibiscus and pineapple and apple and rose
yum.
hip. Oh man, it's so good. That's actually from a place called Tin Roof Teas, which is in Raleigh. I actually just ordered some stuff from them too because all of their tea is wonderful and I really love it. And then the other tea is also from there, and it's a green tea blend, green and black tea, and it's kind of like it's like a floral blend, so it has sunflower and jasmine and rose in it too, but it has a little bit of caffeine, so I'm staying caffeinated and enjoying a couple different options.
That's good. Yeah, for the cookies and stuff, I like when the recipes are flexible, where you can just kind of put in the fat of your choice, whether it's vegan or not. You can adjust that, and we love Tin Roof Teas. I know in the before times they did workshops and stuff, and I did like a Japanese tea tasting there, and it was so nice. They don't seem to advertise that kind of stuff super well. I just happened to be walking by, and it was on a sandwich board outside. It was like tea tasting this Saturday or something.
Yes.
So I signed up, but when that happens again, we have to go because they're in a new location now. So ever
Yes,
since
they are.
January or so.
Yeah, I think the last time that I actually went like a year ago, and then I went once this year in February, and it was the 2 different locations. So it was like a whole new shop the second time around. But it was still wonderful. They have like that whole wall of tea, and they'll pull things out for you to smell, and they'll make you a cup if you just want to try something. It's great.
Yeah, it's surprising how much more space there is because they've literally just like moved across the parking lot from their old location. But it just like is so much deeper of a shop than before. Like it's the same width, but it's just it goes back further.
Yes, it does.
Yeah, I can't wait to go. Huh?
A nice thing about Tin Roof, I completely forgot until Cody mentioned it, was if you have an idea for like tea flavors that can go together, they'll do a blend for you.
What? Yeah.
I used to have chocolate raspberry truffle tea, and I wasn't able to replace it. And so they just took their chocolate, I think it was like chocolate coconut tea, and then their raspberry tea, and they blended it together for me. And it was a pretty close match.
That sounds so good.
Yeah. Yeah, because the place that gave that tea to begin with closed. They were near Allison's house, and I know we were so sad to miss the chocolate raspberry truffle tea, and so I'm so glad that they will do that for you. We're like, this is a good combination. You need to have this.
Yes.
So, Kisara, what are you snacking on over there?
Hi, I have a chai. I have a black stoddy chai, which is like a shelf-stable concentrate. That's sold locally here in Washington. And then I did some baking. I made cheese scones.
Ooh.
And then I got inspired by the shortbread on the Pinterest board, but then Lucy mentioned rose meringues. And so I made rose water shortbread.
Ooh, that sounds really good.
Yeah, that sounded super good on the Discord.
Oh my gosh, that's so pretty.
I was about to say that looks gorgeous.
Yeah, that's very cool. I know Sydney just dropped in. Do you want to introduce yourself real quick?
Hi. Can y'all hear me?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, cool. I wasn't sure what's going on. I think I've used Google Hangouts like once. Hi, I'm Sydney. I'm in Texas.
And you draw comics?
Yeah, I draw comics, and Cute stuff, sometimes spooky stuff, but usually both.
Yay.
Yeah.
Pokenostos.
Sydney draws very cute stuff, and for the Kickstarter, which launched this morning, woohoo! Then somebody has already selected you, Sydney, to draw a commission
Nice.
for them. So,
oh yay!
if anybody is listening to this and wants to go back the patron of the Light Arts tier, then 2 people have already signed up for this, and 1 person has told me they want Sydney. The other person has not reached out yet. So if you want to reserve someone, you got to do it quick. But we're thinking of adding some more artists if that continues to be a popular tier. So yeah, good to have you. Do you have any snacks or sweet beverages you're working on?
I do. I have like a whole thing of tea.
Nice.
Yes.
And then I went to 85C the other day. So I was just stocked up on sweet
Oh,
stuff.
I miss 85C. It
What
was right
is-
next to my old work.
What is 85C?
Oh man, they're like
Explain it.
they're like this really, really fun pastry and cafe, and I think are they from Vietnam or Taiwan?
Oh.
I can't remember. I know I looked it up, but I can't remember.
This might
where.
be like
East Asian.
Okay. In sorry, I'm hearing a lot of crackling. That might be you though, Sydney. So that doesn't matter as much, I guess.
Oh yeah, I thought I was being really quiet. I was like, oh, I can open it slowly and it will be fine.
Apparently, the mics are very powerful. We've got very powerful
Yikes.
equipment we're dealing with for all of us. So,
Oh no. Okay.
But
I will keep that in mind, and then I'll mute my mic when I gotta be crinkly.
I know. Sounds good. I know in New York when I was up there, we have Prince Tea House, and that might be kind of similar because they have some really good different desserts and stuff. And I mean, there's a bunch of great pastry places in New York, but it sounds like it might be along those lines. Or Lady M, maybe.
They've got really good pastries and really good breads. They have savory and sweet, and then they also have a wide range of teas, and they have custard teas, which I got by accident one time, not knowing that there was just an inch thick layer of egg custard in the bottom.
Yeah, those are intense.
I could not finish it.
I got one like that on accident as well once too, and that was a lot for me.
Sounds delicious though.
I got their brioche.
Oh my gosh. That looks so good. Yeah, Prince Tea House, it sounds like it's a little bit different than that, but they also have a ton of great teas and the novelty tea drinks with the foam at the top and
those are so good.
The last that I saw before I left New York, they had salted foam at the top, which was popular, which is not my favorite, but they also had cheese tea, which was just whipped cream cheese or something at the top. So,
Oh yeah.
Oh wow. Tea.
Those are my favorite ones to get. The 85C has a jasmine sea salt foam tea, and I get that a lot.
That combination is so good.
It's my favorite.
Up here like that, and the salt just brings out the jasmine flavor so much.
It does. It's so good.
Melissa, you just took a bite too. What are you snacking on over there?
1 second, I'll chew away from the mic here.
Sorry, I'm bad at timing this apparently.
That's okay. So I have a CSA that I subscribe to, and it's plum season here in Washington, and I had an abundance of plums, way too many plums. I still have too many plums. But I made this. It's a nice color. It is a plum, cardamom, and ginger jelly.
That sounds
incredible.
Yeah.
It came out really good. The only thing is, it was my first time making jelly, so I used what I had on hand, which was gelatin instead of pectin, and it got very hard. But it tastes really. Oh, and also my zester was dirty, and so I just chopped the ginger, and the ginger is very strong. But I like ginger, so it works out.
That's good then. Yeah.
And then I made some vanilla scones
Ooh.
because this jelly needs a vehicle to get into my mouth. You gotta come over, Nola. I have another jar of jam. Just drive the 3 hours over here and I'll give you some jam. And then this morning, my friend exchanged me a loaf of homemade bread for a jar of jam and 3 scones.
Oh my god. That is a good system. We can all start baking for each other across the country. And
The kind of barter system I'm here for.
Right?
Yes.
Exactly.
Pastry trade.
Yes. Yeah, the stuff gone wrong reminds me. So at the beginning of the stream, I was showing people about my would-be macarons, which are just meringues because I forgot the almond flour. But there's more to this story. I made the cookies first, and it says because it's a vegan recipe, you have to, you know how like with non-vegan cookies too, you're supposed to like put them in the fridge to let the flavors like really develop first overnight, but nobody has patience for that, so we never do it. And for the vegan ones, like they're like, you have to do this or it's not going to be flavorful. So I put them in there, and then I was like, okay, time to start making macarons, because the first thing I made before all this started was matcha buttercream, which is so easy because you just like blend it all together. And so I was like, okay, I'm going to make these macarons. I'm going to put it on top. Maybe I can like leave the cookie dough in the fridge for a long time so that I don't have just like sugar that's all going bad around me and I have to eat it immediately. But then, yeah, this didn't work. I tried putting the matcha icing on top of the cookies, and it's just too much. Like they're delicious by themselves, but together it's like deadly. And then during that whole process, like somewhere in there, I was like, I'm gonna try to make vegan ice cream with these frozen blueberries I have, and I put some like lavender in there, so it's blueberry lavender ice cream, and then at least that can stay in the freezer and it will last until I finish all this other stuff. And it didn't quite set up the way that I wanted it to. It's really hard because I couldn't like whip it enough. But it is delicious. So I think this is another good end use for these meringues, is to put on top of my ice cream. So I tried it. It was very, very good.
It sounds super good.
This was also my attempted recreation of the 85C rose milk tea.
Ooh, that's
which
another
is my
good
favorite. Yeah, that's my favorite thing to get there. I'm getting a weird, I don't know if anybody else was getting a weird buzzing there.
Yeah, there was a buzz for a second. But yeah, I am never good at recreating milk teas that you get at the store. It's never the same as like when you get bubble tea or something. I don't know.
It's not just sweetened milk?
I think that the secret is like sweetened condensed milk, and I just don't own that or buy it. And so I try to do it with just milk and tea, and it doesn't work. So
mine is like, it's just English breakfast tea, and then I added rose water and like a tablespoon and a half of brown sugar, which is a lot of brown sugar, but it still isn't enough.
It's still not enough?
Yeah, the one at 85C is pretty dang sweet. But it's good enough for me. I'll take it.
I made the mistake of ordering a brown sugar tea at a place in Philadelphia, and I didn't realize how incredibly sweet those things are. So heads up, if you love super sweet things, it's great. But if not, if you were just looking for like tea that's a little sweet, this is nowhere near like the 70% sugar that I usually get at bubble tea places. Caroline, I'm curious. Oh, sorry. Was someone going to say something?
Oh, I was just saying, I'm impressed. I am very sensitive to that kind of sugar. When I go to boba places, it's usually like green tea, no sweetener, honey boba, and that is enough for me.
That's fair, but sometimes the flavor itself is the syrup, so they're like, we can't do that. It's not going to taste as good. So I'm like, okay, 70% or like something like that. But Caroline, I love the crown that you're wearing down there.
Thanks. I made it.
Oh, that's so cute.
Ooh, kitty. And
What
I
are
got my
you?
kitty cat right here.
Oh my
Oh,
goodness.
hello.
He's just chilling with me.
Oh.
And the only reason
Baby.
why he's up here is because I made like cheese and crackers and fruit plate, and it was really pretty when I first made it. But now it's been eaten.
Oh.
But he's just sitting there like looking at the rest of the cheese that I have on my plate. And just drinking water.
That sounds really good for a hot afternoon, though.
Yeah, it's definitely been hot this summer.
Yes. Oh gosh, it really has been.
Yeah, I think someone was saying over here in the heat index it was like 105 or like 110. I think it was more like the exact, the temperature was supposed to be like 96, but the heat index was like pew. So
It's been killing me.
Claire, do you have some? You look like you have a really cute mug there. Actually, what have you got?
I also have a Renaissance Fair mug.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah, I love it. My friends have been very kind and kind of bringing me along to run fairs and slowly acquiring my ensemble and accessories. And this is my beloved mug. No, just very simple jasmine green tea, some celery juice. Lucy, I do freeze my dough, and I made the mistake of not pulling it out in time this morning, so it's still fine.
Oh no!
No.
It's gonna be fine. It's I made gluten-free oatmeal raisin cookies for my partner and oatmeal chocolate chip for me because it's just so much better.
Yes,
guys,
I know.
And I had one last night. I'm very excited. They're good.
Yay, that's great. I should get on that freezing the dough game more often. Allison had brought it up when we talked one time of like, you don't have to bake them all at once. It's very helpful to like stash it for later so that then you have them and you don't have to worry about them like getting stale or, going off, and you can eat them at your own pace. And then when you're ready for more, you just bake more. So
or
this is too logical. It's too logical.
The second batch is always there anyway.
Yes.
I usually never the dough part.
Right. I made a black walnut miso chocolate chip cookie dough.
Oh my god!
Wow,
super good. And the miso is white rose miso, and they're based in Pennsylvania. And it made so much dough. Like I had to freeze it. Like there wasn't a way else to eat them all at once. And I'm still going through it. And the cookies are so good. I'm glad I still have these rolls of dough in the freezer that I can pull out when I'm craving one of these cookies.
Yeah.
That sounds.
Oh yeah.
The miso replaces salt.
Ah.
Oh.
That's
Cool.
Yeah, so it doesn't taste like a soup, miso.
Oh, that sounds incredible. I was thinking about, miso being fermented and everything, that since your piece for Hazel is all about sourdough, I've been making so much sourdough since then. And I made like 2 loaves this week to try to share one with a neighbor and also with my parents. But the other starter, the excess starter, I was like, I have so much of it at this point because I don't just discard it. Like it says, discard the excess. I'm like, I have to use this for something. So I tried making crackers the one time. That turned out really, really well. And then I was thinking pizza crust is the one thing people do with sourdough a lot. And when you said miso in the cookies, I was like, you could put it in cookies. That could be pretty good.
Yeah, it's amazing how many recipes I've come across that you can just replace salt with miso, and it just kind of adds a different depth to the flavor while still giving that essential salt to it. So,
is it a 1-to-1?
I have to look up. I don't know if it's a 1-to-1. I have to try to remember the quantity that was used, but it was not a ton of miso. It was
Okay.
a reasonable size. I still have a lot.
Oh man.
One of my favorite, I was going to say discard recipes, because you're talking about baking. So I love, I think I said this in the chat, but popovers are really fun to make. And it's like,
Oh, I love popovers.
Donuts, the ones I make, because I put like cinnamon sugar on them. I'd say that's like, and it's like a great entry. If somebody just gives you a cup of sourdough starter and you don't want to take care of it, which is like totally fine, you just dump it into this batter and you make like a delicious treat.
I totally forgot you recommended that, because popovers are incredible, and I feel like people don't know about popovers. These are so good. When I was little, we went up to New Hampshire, or no, Maine. We went to both eventually, but we went up to Maine and we went to Acadia National Park and went hiking on the mountain up there. And there's all these like wild blueberries you can pick and stuff like that. And when we came back down on the other side, there's the Pond House, I think is the name of the restaurant. And we just went straight down to the Pond House, and they make these incredible popovers, and they use the like wild blueberry jam on top of those. And basically it's like, it's how would you describe it? It's like the fluffiness is like a croissant almost. It's not like a muffin, but it's kind of shaped like a muffin.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I call them French toast donuts. Like it's like the way that bread, when you make the eggy on it, like it's, I don't know, that like a challah French toast kind of thing.
Yes.
Yeah. Fluffy. Crisp on the outside. Like, yeah. I say donut, almost like I don't know if it's had a cronut, but like I think it might be kind of like that too.
Yeah, it's a fluffy like challah bread, and you have to eat them like immediately out of the oven. I feel like, I don't know if there's a recipe where it doesn't do this, but in my experience, if you wait, then they kind of get like a little bit hard. And if you eat them hot out of the oven, they're just like, you pull them apart and the steam comes out. It's like all the best parts of, fresh baked bread and fresh baked cake and everything. Which and then you just put jam or butter or both on top and just like pull it apart and eat it. So
now I have to go make some. Like, I don't know how I can.
Yeah, I don't know how
love
I
the
forgot
recipes
about that.
you have.
Oh, yeah.
I love the recipes you have to race to eat. I make Madeline cookies and I make them in little mini tins. And you just have to, they're good for like 5 minutes and they're excellent. And after that, they're still fine, but like they're incredible for the first 5 minutes. And then they're like, oh, it's a cookie.
Yeah, I guess that's the thing about like home baked goods, is they're almost always going to be delicious no matter when you eat them. But first out of the oven is the best time.
Yeah.
These scones that I made last night, like they barely survived between my husband and I.
Lulu, what have you got over there?
Well, I'm not terribly domestic, so I cook nothing ever. What I So what I did do was I live around the corner from a Salumeria, which is the Italian pork store. So I went and got myself some fresh mozzarella and some roasted pepper to have in a sandwich.
That sounds really good.
So we have a vegan ice cream cake in the freezer. So
ice cream cake.
That sounds really good. I'm getting some fuzziness from, maybe it's Lulu's mic because of the mozzarella, but I don't know. I'm getting some fuzziness from somebody's mic. So everybody check yourselves. It's really loud. I'm going to turn this down a little bit. Okay, it seems to have stopped. All right.
Oh, you know what? I bet it was my headphones, because I tried to plug those in so I wouldn't have to keep.
Okay. Well, we haven't. I don't think. I was about to say I don't think we've gotten any feedback from you, but you said your mic has been muted, so that's probably why. But it's I feel like everybody these days, since we're all in so many video calls, we're used to like muting our mics and unmuting them in between. So don't worry about having to take a second to pause and do that. And then Avina, did you show us? You showed us your glass. That's right. You had seltzer, right?
Yeah, and actually, going back to how I made myself sick, it was because I was trying to replicate something that I usually get from like a bubble tea place, and I think I put way too much sugar in it, and I just like with my huge breakfast, I was like, oh god, this is awful.
Oh no.
Yeah, I have a condensed milk trick, and I think that's too sweet for me.
Oh. Yeah, these meringues with the buttercream frosting on top, because I have been doing that anyway, even though they're not real macarons. After a few of them, my like teeth hurt. It's so sweet. So I get that. I love how we've spent the entire first hour talking about foods.
Yeah, this has become a culinary live stream.
Yeah, Pen, did you tell us what you were eating, or are you the only one we've skipped so far?
Me?
Yeah.
I don't think. No, I have not told you. I didn't make anything today. I just was lazy. So I have my just tea. It's a little early.
Oh, there's some kind of buzzing. I'm sorry. There's like a loud. Okay. I don't know if it's. Maybe it's you. I don't know.
Me?
Okay. So far, so good.
Okay. I'm not much of a brunch drinker, and here it's 3 hours earlier than New York, so I have tea instead. My mushroom mug in honor of my own comic.
Oh, it's so nice.
It's really cute.
That is cute.
My sister is actually moving out of the house, and she had all of her mugs in our like cupboard, but now she's leaving and her mugs are gone, so I have space for mine. It's very exciting. And as far as snacks, I just have some nuts and some bread and some blueberry balsamic basil jam.
Ooh, that sounds amazing.
It's amazing. it's almost out, so I'm gonna have to learn how to make it. I mean, I'm sure it can't be too hard to sort of throw the vinegar in there, throw the basil in there. It's very good.
That sounds good.
Yeah.
Oh,
highly recommend.
Yes. And it looks like a lot of people are getting started or have been working on their projects, since this is our little drink and draw. What kinds of projects have people got going? I know I saw Thais had her coloring book. That's always a nice way to relax after a long, stressful week.
Yeah, this is where it's at right now.
Oh, fun.
Oh, whoa.
Oh, beautiful.
Thank you.
That's so cute.
Natalia, what about you?
I'm actually rereading this issue of Hazel, mostly because I haven't looked at it in a while, and it's making me happy.
Oh, that's good.
I should probably pull out the other ones too, because I haven't looked at them in a while. So I'll go do that.
Sounds good.
Yeah. Otherwise, I was just gonna do some writing, but like, I'd rather just be talking and hanging out.
Yeah,
exactly.
Sorry, that buzzing keeps coming back in, so I don't know where it's coming from, unfortunately. But I guess we're all kind of new to streaming, so I apologize to our listeners. Then Petrina, are you working on crochet or are you working on something else?
Actually, hold on. Can you hear me? Okay.
Yeah.
Just checking. I'm actually crocheting. I am working on a turnip bag. If any plays like Animal Crossing.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Yes.
Everyone.
My people. Right now, I have like part of a leaf.
Oh, so cute.
It's been fun figuring out all the stuff, and then here is the turnip.
My gosh.
So cute.
That's gonna be so adorable. Oh my gosh, I can already see it taking shape.
I may or may not be considering a Daisy May cosplay.
That would be
Yeah,
cute.
You
Daisy.
should.
I love
Oh,
You should. She is precious.
love.
I'm very sorry, folks. I have to jump. My partner loves hockey, and NHL starts today. It's just
Okay.
lovely to meet all of you guys.
So
So
good
nice to
seeing
meet
you.
Yes.
Nice to meet you.
Good to meet you,
Thanks
Claire.
for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah. That's what's so nice about this is we all get to finally see each other in person. And
Yeah.
of course, I know a lot of you, but it's nice for everybody to finally make the visual connection. So, yeah. Sarah, are you crocheting something too?
I'm trying to make a design for like an embroidery frame.
Oh.
I have a wall of deer art behind me that was
Oh.
there you go.
Nice.
That friends had given me, and someone felted this little tiny pin.
How cute!
That's adorable. So I want to make like a little embroidered.
Oh, that'll be so cute.
It's a home. It needs a little home.
Yeah, it needs a little home. The thing is that usually I embroider freehand, and this is my first time trying to transfer a design from paper to fabric, and so I'm a little stuck.
Oh.
But I'll figure it.
Sounds good. It's you can always pull out the stitches.
Right.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yup. And what about Cody? Are you working on something?
Yeah, I have the problem of not being able to decide on a project to work on. And this is not just for this. This is for like any time.
Yeah.
So at any given point downstairs, I'll have more than one project going on. So currently, I have an easy project, which is I make my calendar every year. And for some reason, like this year, I just wanted to start already, even though it's a little bit early to start a calendar for 2021. So I have like a little bullet journal kind of thing. And I just like laying out my squares in like a casual kind of format with like each page being a week. And it gives me a little place to like put all, anything that I'm doing for the year and holidays. But then I also draw a tarot card for myself every week. So I leave a little space to like give myself that bit of advice. And that helps to kind of carry me through. But the other thing that I'm working on, I was really wanting this year. Last year, I think I participated in a Inktober prompt list that I really enjoyed. So this year, I'm preparing to host a prompt list. So I spent some time writing down what it was that I wanted to do, and I really love drawing objects. So I came up with a list of 31 like man-made but like old school kind of objects that I'm gonna do like a daily drawing in October for, and I'm making up the I guess you would call it like the illustration for the prompt list. I don't know if you can.
Oh yeah.
Oh nice.
Oh nice.
I love it.
But yeah, so simple little projects today.
That sounds like fun. That's the kind of thing that's good to plan in advance too. But fall is really coming up fast, so
Yeah.
I'm gonna real quick before a real quick interject that again I'm having a little bit of feedback issues. So if everyone can mute their mics except when they're ready to talk, feel free to quickly mute and unmute when you're ready to talk. But just having a little bit more feedback. So thank you. What were you about to say, Cody?
Oh, just that like there's been so much nostalgia / longing for fall themes lately. And I like on all the social media I'm on, like I keep seeing advertisements for like Halloween stuff, or people are drawing little spooky characters. It just, I don't know if it's because of quarantine or because of, you know, whatever it is, all of us are kind of in this collective space of just wanting that like cozy fall feeling, even though like in our area it's 95 degrees outside.
I need Halloween to come like yesterday.
Yeah.
Not only is it my favorite holiday, but I love autumn, and every other season seems to just be the worst for me. And especially the heat, like I cannot tolerate heat anymore like I used to. And so it's been, in a way, quarantine's been nice to remind me to stay home as much as possible, and therefore enjoy the AC as much as possible. So.
Yeah, I want to get out more in the garden and like get exercise, you know, first and foremost, but I also don't want to be sweating constantly. So it's a bit of a mixed bag, but yeah, I think that's part of why I, for one, would be longing for the fall right now. Also, I did see some leaves falling down that were, you know, lovely yellow and orange, just when there was like a big storm outside. So that's why they were coming down. But it made me think, oh my gosh, it's right around the corner already. So it's coming up. And I do want to participate in more Inktober stuff this year. I did a little bit last year. I got further than I've ever gotten, which was like halfway through. Yeah, I think I like picking from different people's lists and stuff too, because there are just so many good prompt lists out there. So
really,
I might might do a little mix. One of our contributors last year, Reagan, who I guess she was the year before. No, I don't remember. Reagan was one of our contributors. She's Reagonia on Instagram. She had a great prompt list last year, and it was like really cozy, and I think it was called Spooky and Cozy or something like that. And that was the one that I used, but want to use some more now.
Yeah, I think last year the one thing that saved me was starting like a day ahead, and also like doing something more sketchy, like something that I didn't feel needed to be super tight, like just kind of keeping it loose and like doing each prompt the day ahead and like working one day ahead. I think there was one time where I had to like merge 2 prompts together because I was a day behind, but everything else, it kind of unfolds a little easier. I know there are some people who will like do all of Inktober like ahead of time and then maybe like finish up inks or something right on the day of, but I'm not getting that involved this year. I'll just, you know, keep it simple.
Yeah, I did like 5 at a time, but then you start to get too confident and you're like, oh, I have them all set up. I don't have to worry about it. And then suddenly you have no buffer and you are in the middle of working on things and you're like, I can't do this. So that's kind of where I went. That's my advice, to not do that.
Yeah, the one year I participated, I did like 6 in one day repeatedly. But then I would have larger ones that would take 2 days on their own. So it's a little dishonest, but I finished on time every one.
That's good.
Yeah.
Every time I do it, I'm always pretty good at sticking to doing one a day because I get too bored quickly anyways. But I'm terrible at sticking to themes. I always start out like I find like a really cute list and I'm like, oh, this is so cute. I'm gonna stick with it. I'm gonna draw like a little I don't know, monster mermaid every day or something, and I don't. I get like 4 in and then it's like, well, what if I just draw a Pokemon this time? Or feeling like frogs, and then it's frogs for 6 days. Never stuck to a theme.
But that's kind of fun too. I like moving around, and I feel like you know, I think some of us individually talked about this last year amongst ourselves, but like Inktober last year, it really felt like people thought there was a lot of pressure to like do all these gorgeous portfolio pieces and like, you know, bring it to the level that like some people do. And it's like, no, just have fun with it. This is just fun. And like, it's just a little challenge to get yourself to use ink. Although, you know, people use any kind of materials and like, that's fun too. It's like, just stretch those muscles, just like have a good time. So that's why I would say you don't have to stick to a theme. You can play around.
I think for me, sticking to a medium has helped me. Like even if I strayed away from whatever prompt list I was doing, if I was sticking to the medium I was trying to get better at, that tended to keep me on like, okay, like I really want to get better at this. Like that would motivate me, I guess, to like get better with, like I think last year it was all just digital work, and I tried to make it look kind of pastel, like soft. And I think that was what kept me going, was trying to like really nail that style. But the prompts were pretty loose too. The ones that I did were it was a hygge theme, so it was all just very like cozy things, but the words were like broad enough that I could like just go anywhere with it. It would be a word like blanket, and so then you could just, you know, the blanket had to be involved somehow, but it didn't have to be, it wasn't, you know, you just go for it.
Yeah, I really like that. I feel like whatever one might have to say about the guy who made the Inktober prompt, I think that was kind of the initial idea, was like to get good at doing inks and stuff.
Yeah.
So when you approach it from that point of view, then you're definitely going to get something out of it, I think. Like whether it's ink or whether it's digital or watercolor. I just had fun using like a watercolor marker and water, which I hadn't really used much before. So yeah. Avina, are you working on something? I can't remember if you showed us already exactly.
No, I haven't shown you yet.
Okay.
Sorry, I've been rushing to unmute myself, but like
it's fine.
for some reason my like mouse was like not responding. So
I saw you rushing, but I was like, it's fine, take your time.
yeah, I don't know if it's gonna show up on screen, but I've been just like doodling on my iPad.
Oh.
Well, it's like looking all weird and rainbowy. It's
that's
just
fun though.
It's black and white.
Oh, okay.
That's really trippy. You should add that to the finished piece.
Yeah.
Just leave it like looking like that. That'd be really cool.
Oh, that's so pretty.
Practicing expressions. Because I feel like I tend to draw a same face. So
I get that. I was
Same.
teaching that intro to comics class for like, it was almost entirely 12-year-olds who signed up for it. I think there was an upper age limit that was a little bit beyond that. But they, I think, were expecting more like how to draw. And I was like, well, I'm just going to talk about comics, but if you guys want me to do that, I can. And I think, yeah, they would probably do well with a little bit just like sitting down and practicing different facial expressions, because I think when you're a little kid, you want there to be like a formula for how to do art, like the way that, you know, they'll show you like how to draw Bart Simpson or something, like you draw this shape and then you draw that shape and then connect them and you got it. And you're like, you guys, I'm not going to tell you to do that. Like, I'm going to tell you to look at real people and draw real people, and then you will get better at drawing cartooned people as well. So they don't necessarily want to hear that, but I try to break it down into like, okay, so we have basically this oval shape and the eyes are usually at this point and the bottom of the ears line up with like the bottom of the nose, but everyone's different. So like there's lots of body types out there. But
yeah, I feel that teaching them foundational how-tos is probably what they're looking for anyway. Like, especially if they want to draw more like diverse things, not just like the same type of person or the same character over and over again. So I always, like when I teach classes or I'm just talking to people, it's like there's certain principles, but what you do with them after that is like up to you. So if you want to just like follow something that you see as a reference, you can. But if not, then like knowing where, where parts of the face and parts of the body, are in proportion to each other, like that's always a good thing to know.
Yeah.
You can always just get those how to draw manga books and just give them to each kid.
I know.
Excellent resource.
Mm-hmm.
I know. I showed them the series we were talking about amongst ourselves before, Manben, which is the little Japanese TV series where the manga artist Naoki Urasawa puts a bunch of hidden cameras in an artist's studio so that it's not so that they don't know they're there, it's so that they aren't disturbed. And then they talk about their process. Although I am totally distracted by this good cat down here.
Yes.
Who is this?
This is Zoe trying to get my breadcrumbs.
Oh. Oh my goodness. Hello,
What
Zoe.
a sweet friend.
Oh, I just had to say hello for a minute there to that good cat. But yeah, it's a great series. I highly recommend it. It's online in various places, but including the website I sent them was like naokiurasawa.com, which I do not believe is his website. Someone else seems to have set it up. But sorry for that coffee pot beep going on back there. But yeah, I was showing them about like, backgrounds and stuff like that, and how when you're starting out, at least for me, I think this is different for some people. I just want to draw people. I don't want to draw backgrounds at all. And like Avina is practicing the facial expressions. Like facial expressions are the most fun thing for me. It's so expressive, and I'm usually like making the same expression as I'm drawing it, But I have to practice with backgrounds. So I was showing them like, okay, here's how to get interested in drawing backgrounds. Like find some really cool reference photos of like places that really exist that are, they're those like Bored Panda or other types of articles where they just like collect all these gorgeous photos of like places you'll never believe are real, and it's like, draw that, practice drawing those.
I find what's really helpful is to treat backgrounds like shapes, because that was something that would prevent me from drawing backgrounds for a really long time. It's like, oh, it's all these straight lines. Like, I don't care about straight lines. They're boring. Like, I'm more, an organic shapes kind of person anyway. So once I started treating them that way, I still have to draw straight lines, because not everything is organic, but it certainly helped me at least block things out better and have more enthusiasm to draw them. That being said, I just finished a comic where I had to draw only one panel with a crashed car in it, and I was very lazy about it because I was like, so many lines and details in this car, but I was still trying to like use the blocking out of the shapes to help me, and thankfully I got it done. But it's still a challenge. Like, we've been doing art for a really long time, but we still have the same I don't want to draw this kind of feeling.
Yeah. But I think our tastes evolve sometimes. Sometimes we're like, oh, now I am interested in drawing this. And I'm not interested in that anymore, It changes. Let me see. Oh, V, what are you working on over there? I saw a cool page layout with, do you have it taped down and stuff? I think you might be muted. But it looks very cool. Yeah, you're muted, but it does look very cool. I still can't hear you.
There we go. I was muted both ways.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, this is a little Fabriano watercolor paper.
Oh.
So I'm just gonna do a little watercolor.
Nice. Oh, I like your setup there. I never do the thing where you leave it in the block or anything. I just like cut it off, and I need to tape it down so that you don't have like the warping problem as much with the paper. But I always
Yeah.
am just like, I'll just press hard on the scanner when I close it. Not a great idea. It's a pretty flimsy scanner, but you know.
This also serves the purpose of keeping my dust not covered in watercolor because of the surface it's on.
That's good. Mine just does get covered in watercolor.
Same.
But I do wipe it down. I did today for our thing. I was like, not like you're going to see it, but I do have my overhead camera set up so I can show you guys stuff. But the trouble I've had this entire live stream is that I realized if I start drawing, I'm going to like lean over here and then I'm not in frame anymore. So eventually I might, but I do have my watercolor sketchbook out, and it's been a while since I've shown anybody what's in there, so I can flip through it. But Kirsten, are you sewing something? Do you want to unmute yourself?
Yeah, no, I got it.
Okay.
I was like trying to finish the thread. So I, what was this? Maybe I guess a year and a half ago, my husband and I went to Japan for our honeymoon, and we went to the Studio Ghibli Museum, which is just the most magical place I think in the whole world. And I picked up this Totoro, and it's pretty. I mean, the hope is that mine comes out that cute and doesn't look like one of like the plushies that like is not correctly assembled at the factory. But it'll still have personality. And I haven't done a sewing project in a long, long time. And so I've spent a considerable time trying to sew Totoro's very tiny ear.
Oh.
Aw.
Hoping I'll be able to turn it inside out properly and stuff it with some stuffing. So.
Oh, that would be precious. I've been watching Bernadette Banner's YouTube channel where she does like historical garments, and she'll sew them using historical methods. Like she'll sew an entire thing by hand, and you're like, oh my gosh, I don't have the patience for this. I don't have the hand power for this. But it's something like that seems much more manageable what you've got there.
Yes, the one challenge, and I know that some of you are learning Japanese. All the instructions are in Japanese.
Oh yeah.
But they're pictures, so I'm just following the pictures and hoping that there isn't an essential detail I will miss because of translation.
Yeah, I could help you with that, but I'm fairly kanji illiterate, so if there's a lot of kanji in it, I will struggle. But Penn brought up a great point, which was Google Translate, but you upload like a photo of the text to it. That seems awfully helpful, and I've heard about it for years, and I never have delved into it. So one of these days, that's going to help me read all my manga on my shelf from like back before they published way too much manga, in Tokyo Pop flooded the market and then went under. So yeah, that was like what made me start to learn Japanese in the first place in middle school. And our teacher on the first day like had us write down like why we were trying to study it, but I was like too embarrassed to say that, so I was just like, I want to learn about the culture. And I did learn a lot about the culture along the way, so worked out really nicely.
But every kid had the same reason.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right.
They're all like, anime.
Yeah. I was the weird kid who took Japanese but had never watched anime.
No, yeah,
The
there were
only
kids
one.
like that. No, we had kids like that in my class too, and like some of them were really cool and like really applied themselves, and some of them just seemed to be there to get a grade and like weren't trying at all. And we're trying to get our teacher in like second to last year I took Japanese, we would learn a song each month, and so like the song would help us with our pronunciation and our language skills. And these kids would be like, Sensei, can we learn the final countdown in Japanese? And it's like, no, what are you doing here? So
we had a lot of go ahead.
Oh no, it must have been an interesting experience being the one kid in class not watching anime.
Yeah, in my last year of Japanese, which was my freshman year of high school, we had inexplicably like probably 4 football players.
Oh.
And like I don't know why they were there. They were like the like stereotypical football player. And none of them seemed to want to be in Japanese. I don't know why why they chose Japanese. It's a very strange experience.
Oh my gosh. I mean, some of you guys might have more experience with this than I do. I don't know how many people have like teaching experience, but it's such a strange time teaching like anybody older than elementary school level. Although elementary school level might have this problem too, but like you get so many kids who don't want to be there in like art class, and you're like, why are you here then? Like you're kind of ruining it for the kids who do want to be here. But like when it's in a public school, you kind of understand that like they had to sign up for a class and they're just disaffected teenagers who like don't want to apply themselves to anything. But it's so bizarre.
I can totally say that the same applies for elementary school. The kids did not want to be there in art class learning anything. And I'm like, you're going to be doing fun things. Why do I need to pull your teeth to like watercolor?
Yeah.
Why? I don't understand.
Oh my God.
Well, that's something that Lucy, we've been talking about for a bit. Is like, you know, now that all these kids have these, you know, how to draw anime classes and camps, a lot of them seem almost spoiled because of that, or like working in comics and stuff that you and I would have, you know, killed to have when we were in like middle and high school. So we're like, what do you mean you don't want to just sit here and draw for 3 hours? Like, are you kidding? I don't know what that's like for you. Like,
like can't relate. Yeah, I think that some of these kids, you know, we try to be compassionate as teachers and see where these kids are coming from. And some of them, it's clear that like for a summer camp, in that case, like their parents have signed them up for something just to get them out of the house. So you're like, okay, I get it. This isn't your thing. You're just stuck in a place. That makes sense. And in elementary school and middle school and high school, then there can be some like, okay, there's a required class or something like that. But the most bizarre has to be in college, where you're like, you are paying to be here quite a lot. And you, I mean, I don't have experience teaching college classes, but being in them with some kids where you're like, what are you doing here if you don't like comics or whatever the thing is? You know?
Unfortunately, I do have a limited amount of experience teaching college art classes. And let me tell you, you would think that that would be easier because, oh, they chose to go to an art school. But they were actually much more difficult to teach than my high school kids. Like, which I thought was pretty nuts. Yeah.
So
I thought, okay, you guys are paying a lot of money to be here since this is an art school, but you know, you're dragging your feet to do character design? I'm sorry. Like,
it's so expensive. What are you doing?
Yeah, it's like that I would die to have the chance to go to like you know, specifically an art school and just, oh, so I get to, you know, do illustrations for a semester, but like you would not believe.
I mean, and like I had to take some classes at SCAD that I didn't really want to be in for one reason or another. Usually it's a scheduling thing. Because my minor was creative writing, and there got to a point where I had taken the ones that I had wanted to take, and I only had one more year and then I needed to graduate, and I wasn't going to like continue to be at school, paying for school, waiting for some class that I want to take. I was like, okay, I just need to take these classes and get done. So I had to take Shakespeare, a whole Shakespeare class, just an entire class. It was nothing but Shakespeare. And I don't enjoy Shakespeare, but it was a college class and I was paying for it, and everybody else there wanted to learn about Shakespeare. So participate. And now I know a bunch of Shakespeare. Do I use it? No. I have a weird appreciation now for how many weird screamo bands use Shakespeare as lyrics. That was shocking. But
I mean, to be fair though, art school is kind of pretty disenfranchising. I went to SVA, and a lot of those teachers had this idea of, I'm not going to help you get to where you want to be. I'm going to make you do what I want you to do, which is usually the opposite of what it is that you're trying to do.
Yeah.
And after encountering that so many times, you kind of just give up and you're not very motivated to do work anymore because all the teachers refuse to listen to you. It's
That
either
makes
that
sense.
or it's a type of class where it's like, well, you guys all teach yourselves, in which case the pace is a lot more lax, and if you're not very disciplined, you don't get anything done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, for the classes I did, they were pretty foundational. I mean, like kind of 1-200 level maybe at the highest. So that I don't know if maybe it was because of their experience with other teachers or other classes, but I've had a lot of students enjoy mine exclusively because they didn't like their other teachers. So I don't know. And yeah, it feels like when you're at like the lower levels, it can either be really grueling or more enjoyable, because then the higher you go, like the more on your own you are, which I think is kind of weird, because as like young artists, you need the guidance to go where you want to go, since you're the one paying them to guide you. So
I think it also kind of just depends on the type of teacher, and this has nothing to do with you, it's just my experience. My foundational year was absolutely abysmal. The way SVA works, and I don't know if other art schools work this way, I was a cartooning major, like how Lucy was a cartooning major, but for our freshman year, we had to do fine arts, which is not like, let's do foundational structural figure drawing. Sometimes it was just, let's make squiggles on watercolor paper, which feels like a waste when you're trying to learn like structure and all of that, and you're not actually getting any of it. And when you actually try to do stuff like that, the teacher's just like, you're not seeing the space. Which, you know, like, I don't want to be one of those people that's like, I'm autistic. I am autistic, and so when somebody gives me something that's not very literal, I don't know what to do with that information. And they just kept telling me things like, you're not seeing the space. I don't know what the space is.
Okay, because that means nothing. That sounds like it means nothing.
Vague
It sounds like something they say to sound like they know what they're talking about, but it's just
Well,
not.
I'm sure in their head they know what they're talking about, but that's not very clear.
Yeah.
No,
it has that flavor of someone who knows a lot about what they're saying, but knows very little about how to actually teach.
Teaching is its own skill you gotta learn.
Yeah.
I mean, the whole fine arts thing requires a different type of thinking than what I can do, and being forced to take classes like that was really demoralizing, because I felt like an idiot. By the time I got to actually drawing for comics, I had a really nice teacher. His name was Phil Jimenez. He did the Spider-Man Obama cover, which was pretty cool.
Oh yeah.
And I was really hesitant to even draw anything in his class, and I was like, Phil, I don't know what I'm doing. And then once I drew stuff, he was like, you do know what you're doing. I don't know why you didn't think you knew what you were doing.
Well, I noticed, Pen, were you trying to say something before?
Sorry.
No, that's okay.
Oh no, I know it's very hard to in the big groups to figure out when it's when to speak and when not to speak.
For sure.
But I was just gonna say that like school's really exhausting. Like I wanted to be fully participating in all of the classes and like, you know, be like a really good bright-eyed bushy-tailed student, but like you just can't sometimes.
No.
Like it's just too much sometimes. But like, yeah, I don't know. It's hard. It's hard for teachers. It's hard for students. It's hard for everyone.
Yeah, and I think we could totally go off onto just knowing
tangent.
Yeah, knowing this group. I know we could say a lot about our experiences with school and art school and other types of school. But if there's anybody who's watching the stream, and I keep getting notifications about something where I'm not 100% sure that the stream is going perfectly like to YouTube every time. So I hope that you guys aren't having too much trouble watching right now. But if you are of college age or getting close to that, just know that if you're having classes where it doesn't seem to be geared towards what you want to do. Sometimes you really just have to find what works for you and stick to that. Like if you're not getting what you want out of the class, you kind of have to create what you want out of the class and not be afraid to speak to your teachers about it. Because yeah, like sometimes you might be stuck in Shakespeare and you have no interest in Shakespeare, but maybe, you know, if it's writing related, you can be like, okay, well then how can I try to use this as a prompt to work on the type of writing that I do want to do. Maybe I can adapt one of these stories to be more like the stories that I want to tell, but use the same like structure or something. So I feel like there's always something you can get out of the class, but you have to sometimes work a little extra hard if either the teacher is not great at teaching or it's just not the thing that you want to be doing, but you have to be there for some reason. So for my kids, for my summer camps, I am always trying to tell them like, this is for you. Like if you want to, you know, just draw your superhero comics, then do that. Like if you want to just do scripting or you want to I don't know, yeah, like work on just drawing faces the whole time, then sure, like this is for you. And you know, some teachers are more or less flexible about that, but that is my one bit of advice for college, because there's a lot that's dependent on the circumstances. So I don't know if there's any kind of overarching advice that's besides that.
I think like something that always sort of held me back in like art classes is like, I think if you're oh, sorry about the sound.
Oh, is that you? Okay.
Yeah, that's me. Sorry. My mom is making some espresso in the kitchen.
I see.
Like if your confidence about your own art is bad, or if one's confidence in their own art is bad, then it can make you like less enthusiastic about showing up and less enthusiastic about doing the work because you like don't want to show it to anybody, and you see everyone else's and don't think yours is any good, so you're like, oh, what's the point? I shouldn't be here anyway. I mean, I guess it's impossible to totally ignore that feeling, but I do think it can, like, that held me back from progressing a lot, I think, in college. And I think I would be like a lot farther along if I had tried to ignore that feeling. So I guess my advice would be fake it till you make it.
That's
actually really helpful.
Yeah, that's actually a really good point, is that like my students wouldn't put in stuff for review very often in this class, and I try to encourage them as much as I can of like, this is for you. Again, like you're gonna enjoy getting feedback from it. I'm not gonna, you know, sit here and eviscerate your piece. I am here so that you can ask me questions and you can say, what do you think? What can I do better? And I can tell you what I like about it, what's working, and what I think is not working. And it doesn't have to be that scary, but you know, when they're 12, it's really hard to convince them of that. And even adults, it can be hard. Like in the writing classes that, like writing workshops that I've taken, sometimes people just want to sit out and not read their piece, but like you're gonna miss out on all that good feedback. So. Melissa, were you trying to say something?
Oh, I'm coming at it from a somewhat different perspective because I was a creative writing major. As I've said, I don't really do visual art. But I think by nature I'm just kind of a petty person, and when somebody tells me I can't do something or I'm not allowed to do something, that just makes me want to do it more. So like in my very first short story writing class, we weren't allowed to write fantasy.
I've had that.
Just
why?
Okay, so from my teacher's perspective, who is a person I respect, he was a great teacher. My first published book is a fantasy book, and he had me come talk to his class. So like clearly he doesn't hate fantasy. But the thing is that having taken an intro to short fiction or intro to fiction class, I understand why he has that rule, because not to be really mean or anything, but boy, howdy, did I read some bad fiction in that class. And the difference I think with bad fantasy versus like bad realistic fiction is that bad fantasy can be entirely incomprehensible. That said, like I think it's a BS rule, and so I just went ahead and wrote fantasy for every single assignment anyway.
That's so good.
Because I was like, you know what? I understand why you have this rule, but also like writing off an entire genre isn't going to help your students improve, and not giving them feedback on why fantasy isn't working isn't actually better. And I think most of my instructors actually had a no fantasy rule that I just like blatantly ignored because I'm like, I want to get better at this. So like teach me how to do it better. If you hate it, that's fine, but I want to get better at it. And when it came to, I also had to take poetry courses, which was required for my creative writing degree. And poetry was like pretty new to me. And I had one teacher who was like 4 years older than me. You'd think he was 1,000 years old by the way that he behaved. But he was so down on pop culture, and he like went off one day like talking about how much he hates Kesha. So I wrote a poem for his class invoking Kesha as my muse, and just like writing this ode to Kesha.
That's beautiful.
And so like if there are any people in, who are watching who are like, they have these kind of rules that are like no fantasy, don't do this, don't do that. It is possible to do it anyway.
Yeah.
Well, I think we became the teachers that we wanted when we were students, and in so doing, at least for me, in so doing, have a great amount of imposter syndrome.
Maybe so. I mean, yeah, that's definitely a problem I think a lot of us face, especially as creative people. It just seems to be something that, a lot of us experience. But quickly going back to what Melissa was saying, I also had a high school writing class where our teacher would not let us write fantasy, and that in that case, I think I would have like failed the class if I turned in fantasy. So I did not do that, and I tried to like. I think one way you can get around it is like if you really want to write about a fantasy that you are thinking about, then you can take the characters from that and just write like the more interpersonal moments that have a lot less to do with like the broader fantasy world. Like it can just be more about day-to-day interactions, and maybe it happens in some kind of like cool stone palace or whatever, but like you're still mostly talking about things that the teacher can like easily understand what you're talking about. They don't need to know the whole backstory of your fantasy realm. And in this teacher's case, I think it was just that she really didn't know how to grade fantasy. She didn't know how to like give feedback on that. But yeah, it was very frustrating for so many of us who were coming to the class as fans of fantasy and wanting to write that kind of stuff, and then having that like enthusiasm turned down. So as a teacher, I would want to be able to accept it more, but as a student, I definitely think there are ways you can get around it, and just like write those little character scenes. Like for my mini comics classes, I'm like, now is not the time to do your big space opera, like we're doing.
What are you calling me out right now?
I'm like, we're doing 2-page stories at most. At the end of class, we'll do an 8-page story, and like that's it. And even then, it was like mini comics. It was just these little ones that like you can fold and everything. So you can only really fit a couple panels on each of these pages anyway. But that's because, we only have a certain amount of time together. And I have to be able to read these and process these and give you feedback in that time. And also, from your point of view as a student, then you want to have more completed work under your belt. so that you know you can finish a story at all.
Mhm,
So
mhm.
shorter stories are always a good way to do that, instead of, like, here, let me tell you my epic. Like, here's a scene from the epic. Like, let's do that. And once you master those, you can feel more confident in like building up longer stories. So I'm still not to that level.
Yeah, I'd agree. I think I also graduated with a creative writing degree, and we also had like a no fantasy or like any. I guess they put it as a genre, any genre type like theme. Like we couldn't do it until like junior or senior year. But the way a lot of people worked around it was, I guess like I kind of understand it because it's like you have to kind of learn the foundations before like actually do like. I know in a couple of like my senior classes, it's like I'm doing fan fiction, like I'm doing fiction or like fantasy fiction, and they're like, okay, whatever, because like I guess like by now like you get what we taught you, so yeah, whatever. But like if you did it in like a freshman or sophomore year, they'd like really like chew you out. But in order to work around it, I definitely like recommend doing it like Lucy said, like taking it, like condensing it, and then like basically like do it like the interpersonal moments that fit the theme. That way, like as a student, like you're like this as you as a writer is like you're relating it to like helping the teacher relate to what you're writing about. So it's like easier, so at least it's easier to understand for them than like you being stuck in your own world and being like, oh, this is so great. And it's like, but I don't understand. Like I get you're passionate, but also I don't get it.
Yeah, I recently, while in quarantine, got into watching video essays on YouTube.
So good.
I don't know what it is about them. It's kind of relaxing to watch them, but it's also really intriguing to hear what people think about certain things. Anyway, so related, I recently watched a video essay about hard world building versus soft world building in fantasy writing.
I've seen that as well.
Yeah, and
Who's it by any chance?
I will look that up as I'm talking.
Because I need to see that one.
It was very good. They definitely laid out examples of, like, they kind of stuck with Studio Ghibli and Hayao Miyazaki and his world building as soft world building as their like main example, and then like Lord of the Rings as the hard world building. But then they gave some other examples which were very good. And it's exactly what you're saying. You know, doing more of a soft world building for an instructor, I feel like would be really helpful for them to relate versus laying out every single language that is developed in this place that you've created, or you know what,
describing every single tree.
Yes, or who the warlords were and why they've come to where they're at. You know, that's not going to help with those like small assignments, but it's really important if you feel passionate about that to have that work, because it's your world that you're creating.
I have to take a second for some cat appreciation real quick. Both Caroline and Kusera have some lovely little friends right there.
Oh, Lulu has one too in the background.
Oh,
Nala's still there.
Let's go get mine now.
Caroline,
My cat's in the window there.
Oh, Floof. Yay.
Boober is also, I don't know if you could see Boober, but she's her.
Oh, she blends in a little bit.
Let me ask Caroline, can you introduce your friend?
Yeah, this is Goblin.
Oh
He turned 1 in June.
Oh, baby.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, look at that.
One is just a baby.
Yeah, we got him last August.
That's a good name.
He came from Carowinds, apparently.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, my friend works there, and whatchamacallit, they have stray cats all the time, and so she brought him back as a kitten, and I was like, I'll take him.
Hello.
Yeah, he's a He's sweet, but he can get into things sometimes. Like right now, he just walked all over my art. And he's like, "I want this," and I'm like, "No." It's working, but
He's trying to appreciate it in his own kitty kind of way.
yeah.
Kusera, who's there with you?
So this is Astrid, and I'm honestly surprised you got to see her before you got to hear her, because she'll just like run through the house, and she sounds like some witch that should live in the woods. And then guessing her brother is still downstairs, but they're main
Oh, we've been blessed by her. She's looking at us, or she did.
I like how the majority is cat people.
I know it's not that surprising in the end, but
Switch thing.
Well, I don't have any pets, but we do have a family of Carolina wrens nesting in one of our little planters outside by the porch, and they just had their babies earlier this week, so we got to see them, and they're so tiny. Yeah, and as of yesterday, I posted a video in my stories, and you can see them starting to fuzz. It's just it's like we have babies in our backyard that we don't have to take care of. It's nice that they're so close that we can actually like peek in and see them chilling.
so many cats are appearing right now. Pen, who's your friend?
Oh, this is Beatrix.
Oh.
She's technically my mom's cat, but because I'm living at home now, I get to sort of claim her.
Oh.
Oh, she's getting shy.
Oh no!
I just woke her up from a nap to show her to you all, so she's a little. She looks a little angry right now.
Oh no!
Cutie.
What are you doing?
Oh.
She's a kitten.
Oh my goodness!
I'm gonna try to turn her
Is that
the camera.
Yeah, I wanted to ask Cody, but I don't know how long that Kirsten can hold this sweet baby, so I have to ask Kirsten first.
Oh, I was gonna ask if dogs that behave like cats can be included among cat.
Hi, Snoopy dog.
So cute.
Oh,
Yes, this is Mariko, and she's 5 years old.
Is she a Shiba Inu?
Yeah.
Cute.
Oh my goodness! What a beautiful toasty dog.
Yeah, marshmallow dog. Little dog.
And Cody, your cat was having a very nice smoldering expression on the screen earlier.
He always does. This is Jordan, and he's an old boy. He's like 13 or 14 years old.
Oh.
But we just woke him up from a nap as well, which is the only reason why he's sitting here with me. He is not a cat that likes to sit with people, but
he's not awake yet.
Good.
So we're lucky to have spotted him too. Then.
Yeah, he is a rare sight.
What's his name?
Jordan.
Jordan. So cute.
A rare Jordan sighting.
Oh well, so good to see so many creatures. V, you've made it easier for us to see your cat too.
Yep, she's in the window.
Just such a nice little spot there.
Oh, she loves it. She practically lives there. She could watch all the little birds on the next door roof.
Does anyone have like a harness and leash for their cat?
I do, but she just the whole time she's trying to get out of it, so she's not having any fun. So.
Oh, I wonder if we'll get to see Allison's cat Stevie walk back in the background.
Yeah.
He's so playful.
That long boy.
Yeah, unfortunately, he is. I can see where he's been hanging out right now, and he's in a sunbeam in a windowsill. And then when he gets too hot, he just goes onto the hardwood floors to cool off for a bit. He's fine. Like, he's very content. He just doesn't want to be on camera, I guess.
I see. Maybe by the time we finish up. Although it is getting close to 4, so if anybody has to go, I understand. But this has been so much fun so far. It's hard to want to stop.
It's been great. Oh, could I do a plug-in for you?
Oh, sure.
I just have finish reading through Hazel 1 again.
Oh, nice.
And I know you're trying to reprint it as a reward, and it's really sweet and light and airy, and it's where it all began.
Thank you. Yes, I
So-
was like that. That was what gave me the confidence to make more in the beginning. I hadn't really done anything like zines or mini comics since Stevie. Oh my God.
He must have, his ears started burning or something.
He heard his name.
Anyway, sorry to interrupt. We're actually talking business now.
Oh, look at him! Such a long boy.
He made his appearance, so we had to
We're
get it in
blessed.
while he's there. Oh my goodness. But yeah, I
That's
can
funny.
always go back to business talk. We don't always get to see Stevie, so
Exactly. Precious
my
boy.
goodness.
Yeah,
So
he's primarily on camera right now. He's not doing anything weird.
Look at this little guy. He does like to
there
do
he
weird
goes.
stuff. Oh, he's gonna have a nap with you. Or not.
You know, he's a wild thing. He's allowed to, what's that quote from Pee Wee Herman's Big Adventure? Like, Dottie, I'm a rebel.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah. Whatever.
I
Anyway,
was gonna say Natalia knows.
He's a good one. He's so playful.
yeah,
Is he
really
what, like
is.
4? Is he 4 years old?
He just turned 2 in May.
Oh my
2.
goodness.
Okay, so
Yeah.
I made him a lot older.
Yeah,
just a
and
little
possibly
baby.
the other cat owners on the chat agree that unfortunately 2 years old is true. It's terrible twos for both
Oh,
children
no.
and
Mhm.
cats.
Oh.
So he's been doing a lot of playful biting, unfortunately. But other than that, he's being a real sweetie pie. He's been doing a lot of cuddling, like in the morning lately, while I've been trying to read. And I love him. And I got him at Target. They have these weird.
got him at Target.
No.
Target. Targets are now franchises. And cats can own them. But no, at Target they have these wave scratching posts. So it's supposed to look like your cat is surfing or something when they're on there.
Oh my goodness.
Anyway, pro tip for anyone who wants some surf iconography in their house.
Makes it very summery. Well, I'm so glad we got to see so many good visitors. I see Lulu's cat is there too now.
No.
Oh my goodness.
Is Boober.
Yeah.
Who's that Boober?
This big lump.
Potato.
Oh, speaking of potato, is Nancy still chilling beside you there, Thais?
She is. Yeah, I'll show y'all again.
Well, you
She
should
has
come. You
not
should come bring
moved.
her over.
That might be harder, but there's only part of her.
Oh. Well, we can see the corner at least. A little bit of fluff.
We know she's there.
Yeah.
She's a corner potato.
She's very peaceful right now, and I would loathe to mess that up.
Well, with all these good creatures keeping us company, going back to what Natalia was saying, with the first Hazel that I put out, I think, after school, where I had gotten so much of a chance to focus on like just illustration and just comics and stuff, I didn't really get to while I was looking for a job. And once I finally got settled, I was still like, can I even finish a whole book, like 28 pages or however many that I want to do? And, it felt like it was hard to call myself an artist if I didn't like have anything to show for it when I was just, working full time and everything. So I put it together, and by the time I was done with it, then like it gave me the confidence to go ahead and make more projects. So if anybody feels like they're stuck in a rut, I highly recommend that you just keep plugging away at like one goal that you set yourself, like make a physical thing maybe, or whatever kind of your goal is, and eventually you'll get there, and it will really make it so that the next time you go to make something, it doesn't feel like such a challenge anymore. It's like, okay, we've done this before, we can do it again. So it's a real confidence booster, and I really enjoyed working on that one. But it's been really fun for all the subsequent issues to have everybody else come onto that. I still did a lot of, I think, Hazel 2 myself compared to like later ones where I got more and more people to help me. So it was really nice, like building up this kind of community and getting to work with, you know, my friends who are some of my favorite artists and authors, and then new friends that I got to meet. So yeah, it's been a great time, and I really do want to reprint Hazel issue 1, but it is as expensive as anything else. So if we hit some stretch goals, which I haven't announced yet officially, but it's our most distant stretch goal. Our biggest goal is reprinting issue 1. So fingers crossed.
And you said you were going to possibly reprint it like in a different type of paper, or like just change it up a bit, or just keep the original?
It's mostly going to be the same. The only difference that you'll notice if you have all of the issues is that issue 1 and 2 are on stark white paper, and the other ones are on this kind of antiqued paper, like so. There's Sudi's artwork. She's not with us this time, but I really liked what she did for issue 4. They also have like a less dense cover, because I know people were like, I'm afraid to open it with our other ones because they were so stiff. But the first issue especially, my watercolor is just so light that you would think that the darker paper would like help darken up the watercolor, but it really flattens the levels kind of. So you really lose the lightest lights, and it all just, yeah. So it looks a lot better. Thank you, Natalia, on the pure white paper. But in the reprinting, I would probably just like match the paper to this better. It would just still be stark white. So the interior is basically the same, but the cover will hopefully be a little less stainable, because the first cover, it was really easy to make marks on it by mistake. And it will be a little less dense. So that's the difference, I think. I see this good cat again. Kirsten, I mean, not Kirsten, sorry. Caroline's cat. Oh. Does anybody? Oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, I was actually going to say I'll have to hop off because my dogs that are cats. My cats that are dogs for dinner time. So it was really nice to spend the afternoon with you all.
Yeah, it was so nice.
Yeah, nice to meet you too.
Nice to meet you.
Yeah, it was great to meet you, Kirsten.
And congratulations.
Yeah, that's nice.
For a successful launch of the Kickstarter.
Yes, congrats to all of us. We all worked so hard on this one. So thank you so much for your work.
Yeah, yeah. Have a great afternoon or morning or whatever time it is wherever you are.
Yeah, you too. Take care.
Bye.
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 Yeah, I think as fun as this has been so far, maybe we can just see if there are any questions to answer, and then that might be it, because 2 hours is a long time to be with your earbuds in or in front of your computers. So let me look at the chat. Chat, do you have any questions? I recognize a lot of these names in the chat, so I'm very excited to see Julie and Bonnie and some of our other good friends out here. I love all the school talk too.
There's always a lot to say about school.
Oh yes. Well, does anybody in the group here who we're on call with have any questions?
What are you going to do after Hazel?
That's a good question. The thing is, like, So Hazel takes up the majority of my year. Like when I'm not
Oh, wow.
working on Hazel, I'm recovering from working on Hazel. And so that's why like my Instagram kind of dropped off after Inktober last year. And I like need to find, you know, something now that I'm not working full time, and I am pretty much doing illustration full time. But I don't have like enough clients built up or any of that. I need to find something to be my, you know, primary income source. So if you know, Hazel got to a point where like that was big enough, then that could happen. But as it is, I need to take a break. So I still think like there's a possibility of some Hazel in the future, but at this stage, it's a little bit hard to see what that future is. So that's kind of my thinking about Hazel at the moment.
Understandable.
I feel like based on the popularity of the food chat and the question from Josie Be Good being, can you discuss food some more? I feel like the market is there for a Hazel-ish food zine.
Ooh,
Yeah.
that would be fun.
That would be amazing.
That'd be so fun.
That would be cool.
Yes, I would love to do at least like a tea zine for myself. I think before, it's too bad Kirsten just signed off, because when she was talking about adding miso to stuff, it reminded me about like how you can also add tea to your cooking, and like different types of tea to introduce a depth of flavor there too. Like soup stocks, especially for like lapsang souchong, which is like really smoky. You can really make that more interesting. A real quick idea that I got from a workshop that I attended was to infuse butter with lapsang souchong and put it on your popcorn, and then it's like
amazing.
Yeah, it's like campfire popcorn. So highly recommend it. It's really good, and you can just like infuse the butter and keep it in the fridge in like a little jar or something, and like use it when you're ready for that. So
I'm so stoked. I have a bunch of lapsang souchong. That sounds amazing.
I haven't had that for so long. I need to buy some because, yeah, like actually just recently I was thinking about that, and I was like, ooh, that would be so fun. And that
I used to work at a local coffee shop, and we would people could get tea as well, and we had lapsang souchong, but not a lot of people would get it. So the few times that someone might order it, it was always like a treat and a surprise to open that jar and it just be like this smoky, like smoky deliciousness.
Oh man, that sounds really nice.
Victoria, V? Do we call it V or Victoria?
V is either one.
V.
Yes.
Did you just paint that entire thing during this live stream?
Yes.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it looks awesome.
Thanks.
It takes me like 3 hours to do, I don't know, a single color. So I'm just like very impressed. It's so beautiful.
Thank you.
Yeah.
It's just.
Oh no, go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say it's like watercolors, like doodling now is fun.
Yeah. Does anybody else have want to show how far along they got in their thing? If it's the kind of thing that's showable.
Yeah.
Oh, that leaf's really coming along. Oh my gosh.
I didn't do much. I got 3 stars, a nose, and an eye.
Nice. Yeah, embroidery takes a while. Oh my gosh, you really filled that out, Thais. It's like a fiery little cat.
Yeah.
I was just sketching people on the live stream.
That's really pretty. Oh, both of you
Those
guys.
are really cute.
Oh my gosh, Caroline and Penn have some really nice artwork there.
Yeah.
Thank you.
My hat didn't come out as planned, so I started beading, and I made 2 different.
Ooh.
I don't know. My preview just disappeared, so hopefully I'm not just like, here's my hand.
Oh,
that's awesome.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, we can see it.
Everyone's doing such cool stuff.
Yeah. I'll have to, because for those of this group who were here before the chat started, they know that like right before the chat, I made another little view that you can see my overhead camera. So I have to use it once for this whole stream since I haven't up until now. But oops, it's just my watercolor page. But then I'm gonna open this up. This is some of you have already seen these ones from my Instagram or my Patreon, but I didn't get to do any doodling today, but I just wanted to show you some of the fun stuff I've been enjoying playing with over time, because I'm always like feeling like I'm stuck in the same style, and I like messing with the shapes and trying new things that like don't look super humanoid all the time. So that's my little bit that I finally got to use my overhead camera setup. But
Yay.
That's all.
Oh.
Yay. Yeah. Sydney, were you working on anything?
I was. I just didn't get that far, and then one of them I messed up because I was like, I wonder how well this paper will take watercolor, and the answer was it doesn't.
Oh
So I got like a really poorly done frog. I don't even know if that's because this paper is just not watercolor paper, so it got really weird.
It's really cute.
And then I just was like, well, I'll draw rabbits. So I got like a sketch, but I didn't get that far. I don't even know if that's. Can you even see that? It's really light.
Yeah.
Oh,
Just
that's so cute.
Oh wow, the movement's so good.
It reminds me a lot of like Beatrix Potter.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I was
the
gonna
little,
say.
the little rabbit sisters that have the red. I was like, I'll just do that, but I don't remember what they totally look like. So I was like, I'll just, meh, just
Yeah.
make it up.
Yeah, I'm using multimedia paper, and it's not, multimedia paper is usually still a little bit too light for watercolors. But
Yeah.
the fun thing is, I didn't get to use these. Maybe I'll have to post these to Instagram anyway. But like these are some sketches for like Hazel promotional images that I never got to, and I really like the way that this one turned out. But it's so like markery, the way that it accepts the watercolor. It's not the way my watercolor paper works. But sometimes I like that. Like sometimes I'm like, I kind of wish that my watercolor on the like nice watercolor paper looked like this. So
Oh wow.
yeah,
It is nice.
Oh, I love that you guys have. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, I was just the paper that I was using is not even like sort of multimedia. It says right on here comic book paper, so I wasn't even like in the right like I was just making up nonsense, I guess, for what I was trying.
But that's fun. That feels very low pressure then, because you're not like wasting your nice watercolor paper.
That is true.
I had this paper at work that would come out of the printers, and one side was treated for printers so it wouldn't allow the ink to spread very well, and the other side was plain, but it was really thick paper, and so I would like watercolor on it all the time, and sometimes it was hard to tell because people would print out like misprints all the time, so I just grabbed that, and sometimes it was hard to tell which side was the one that allowed for the spreading of ink and which one didn't. And so if I used the wrong side, the way that it trapped the watercolor or the colored ink also looked kind of like markery, and that was really cool effect. It wasn't always the effect I was going for, so I was like, oh dang, I wasted this piece of paper, but it was really cool. Sometimes
Sounds like it'd be cool to experiment with.
Yeah. I think it's neat to experiment with stuff sometimes.
Yeah. It helps, I think, keep your art fresh to try different things that will inform when you go back to sort of your comfort area.
Yeah, for
Changes a little
sure.
bit.
Does anyone have anything else they want to share or talk about before we wrap up? I feel like if I say before we wrap up, then people think we're wrapping up right now. We don't have time for your thing. But no, please do share anything. Anything.
Well,
you want.
I was just gonna.
Go ahead, Natalia.
Oh, I was just gonna thank Lucy for putting this whole thing together, and for everybody who has been helping her out with all of the stuff behind the scenes. And it's been nice to actually get to know the contributors this time around. So I think that has been working really well, because I feel like I made some new friends.
Yeah, thank you guys so much.
Great.
Thank you, Lucy.
Thank you.
Yes,
definitely.
I really appreciate all you guys and all your help. This has been so much fun. And I do think, since we've been enjoying talking to each other, I have to make some kind of Discord that all you guys following along and watching this stream can also participate in, so we can share these good recipes, we can share these good cat photos.
Yes.
So many pet photos.
Yes. And like, I think everybody has really enjoyed getting feedback on their work along the way, and like, it's been really encouraging to share your work with the group and have everybody, you know, not only celebrate like, oh, this is really, really good, but be able to like give you feedback on what's working and what's not working too. So
Yeah, I definitely the other day I was talking to someone about how, you know, I've been posting to social media sometimes, but I usually feel like that it's hard to post sketches. Like I have a really hard time posting stuff that's not refined.
Yes.
And like there's a part of me that really wants to like get people's feedback just through social media, but at the same time, it's not how most people do it. So having the Discord has been really encouraging for being able to just put out something that doesn't look all that great, or maybe it's like not put together yet, and then get the feedback. It's a lot more encouraging because it's like a safe space to do that in.
Yeah, and then especially when they're like, I see what you're going for, and it's like, at least when I was posting my, you know, sketches, it's like you guys picked up on the things that I was doing, but maybe had a little trouble getting it to the finish point, you know, like. But yeah, and it's like, oh, they, you know, it. People can tell what I'm trying to get across here, so that's always good.
Yeah, definitely an encouraging thing.
Yeah,
for sure.
I think this is my first time being part of like a collaborative zine project like this. And it's been very nice to participate in this project and have it be the exact like vibe of reading Hazel. Like everybody's
sure.
everybody's so like nice and supportive, and so it's been really good to be a part of.
Oh, that's good. I'm so happy to hear that.
Especially because writing is often just like a solo activity. So
yeah, for sure. I really liked seeing everybody's stuff in the writing channel, and whenever I was not able to like get on and give feedback, it was nice to come back and see like everybody else jumping in and having their comments and stuff, and I'm like, oh good, I just want everybody to feel supported and to like get the feedback that they need. So, and of course, like everyone brings a different perspective to it. So there's stuff that one person might catch that another person doesn't, or ideas that somebody has that another doesn't. So it's been really good. Well,
yeah, like someone who's never really contributed art before, like I've done writing before. So it was like I was really intimidated to share my art with like so many experienced artists, and it was just really nice. It was like coming to a warm hug like every time I post to the Discord. So it's a really nice vibe for sure.
Yeah,
that's good.
Definitely. Like how supportive and nice everyone was. Like it can be kind of intimidating to be like, this is my contribution to this. I hope you like it. This is good. It's like, this is great. It's amazing. It's like so nice to have that.
Yes, absolutely.
It's a safe, wonderful space.
Yeah, I think I'm used to, well, because I know almost everybody to some extent who was in the Discord. And so for me coming in, and I just knew it was going to be lovely to go in and be like, here's my thing. Like I had, confidence about it because I have experience working with you guys, but I'm really glad to hear that that's the same experience that you had coming to it, not knowing everybody. And especially like, I don't know. It's interesting to hear that people might have been nervous to share stuff to begin with. So I'm glad you didn't let that stop you because we had a really fun time reading everyone's work. So
yeah.
Oh, all right. Well, if anybody has anything that they didn't get a chance to say because we've kept things moving pretty quickly, then please feel free to do so. But otherwise, I think this has been a really, really lovely chat and a lovely party. We've still got our snacks and our beverages. And I hope everyone has a really good weekend, too.
You too.
Yeah, you too.
Yeah, you too.
I'm sure we will.
I mean, you've been having it's been a pretty great launch so far. I think I've been monitoring the Kickstarter page.
Oh yeah, good.
Yeah.
That's good.
So,
I know that.
Very excited.
Yeah, behind the scenes, I know I never feel like I've done enough. There's always something else on my to-do list and something that I didn't get to. And especially, this group knows that I've been continuing to have hand pains like I have for the past couple of years. And especially during this time, it's like, oh, you can never get enough done. There's always something more. But A, this group has helped me out so much. And B, it's been just like a big relief to see that so far everything is going pretty well. So thank you so much for being with me in this this big moment for us.
Yes.
This is a status update. We're at over $1,600 on the Kickstarter.
Yay!
Is it 6 or 7?
It's almost 7, I think.
Fab.
Last time I checked, it was almost at 17. So
$4 away from 17.
Yeah. Oh, nice.
Someone's got $4 out there. We know.
All right, whoever's left in the chat, each of you needs
No pressure.
No pressure.
Well, you guys did an incredible job with all your submissions, so it'll be well deserved. This is a great book that I'm looking forward to bringing to everybody. And since I finally can see the chat on my screen, I had to bring up that Julie has said would pay $15 plus shipping for a pet zine from Hazel. So another.
I'm into it. Let's do it.
Yes.
But yeah, thank you guys so much. And you can stick around on the call and we can all say goodbye. But I'm going to at least stop the stream for now. So I think we can all say goodbye to everybody on the chat. Thank you guys so much for joining us and have a great weekend.